Another one, another tragic loss. Week 2, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Chicago Bears, and we lose 48-10. I don't even know where to begin with this. I want to say that this is literally one of the worst losses I've ever experienced, but it seems like every season we have one game where we really just shit the bed and we come out unprepared. It's like the team didn't even know we had a game today. It's absolutely ridiculous that this coaching staff every season has one game that they're not prepared for. We're talking about Mitch Trubisky, the guy who threw like 7 touchdowns all of last season. But no, today he looked like Mitch Brady, Aaron Trubisky. He was out there balling out 6 touchdowns to Mitch. 6 touchdowns to Mitch. This whole entire season he had like 2 touchdowns and 3 picks, and we let him throw 6 on us, 5 in the first half. Are you serious? There is literally something wrong with this coaching staff. I know it was a short week, but still, we were at home Monday night. There wasn't that much travel. It's not like we were coming from Pittsburgh. We were literally at home. They should have been prepared, and I have no idea what this coaching staff is doing. I have no idea how they prepare for games, but it's absolutely unacceptable that we come out against a Chicago team like that has virtually no offense, and we can't even stop them. It got to the point where I was like, if I was back there, I could have easily thrown for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, it was so bad. We had receivers running wide open. The receivers looked like gazelle running in Africa. Like, they were running in wide open plains. Nobody was in front of them. When we did have a semblance of defense and corners were a little bit close to the receivers, Mitch couldn't throw them. But that happened like, what, 2-3 plays a game? It was ridiculous. I have no idea what's going on. This was a really gut-wrenching loss. I don't know if it's even considered gut-wrenching. It's absolutely disgusting. I mean, to go 2-0 playing the way we did to absolutely disappearing against Chicago. I understand that the Bears have a good D-line, and it was evident in this game. Based on my predictions last week, I was completely off. Even if we lost, I didn't think we'd get blown out by 38 points. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous, unacceptable. As fans, we really got to be tired of this shit. Every season we start out good, we get hope, and then we just start to crumble in the worst of ways. Like, the Steelers game wasn't that bad. It was close. We had a comeback, we had a shot, we blew it. But this one, 3-45 at halftime, like, what is going on with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team? I have no answers, and I hope Dirk Cutter can figure it out. Before I get into the winners and losers of this game, if you are new here, make sure you click the subscribe button down below and leave some comments. Let's talk about how horrible these Bucs have been. Because we need a Bucs Nation like meeting, and we need to talk about what's going on and figure out how the hell we can fix this. Well, not us, how the hell the team can fix this, because again, another season started out really good, and I think now we're second in the division, tied for second maybe. I don't know. I think the Saints still have to play the Giants at the time of this recording, but we're not going to finish first in the division at all. So yeah, it was, oh my God, it was horrible. But let's get into the winners and losers. Before I get into the winners, let me let you know that it was absolutely impossible to find winners, and the only reason I picked winners is because I'm trying to pick 3 every week, so they're kind of a stretch, but please bear with me. The first winner is Deshaun Jackson, and I feel that one is actually deserved. 5 catches, 112 yards, especially playing from behind like that. He had those 2 40-yarders. He had 1 intermediate pass that he took for like 40 yards, and then that deep ball was absolutely beautiful. He heard the footsteps coming, he caught it on the fingertips, somehow he pulled it in, gained possession, and got his feet in, which was absolutely ridiculous. That was a crazy catch, probably the craziest catch I've seen from the Bucs this season. That was absolutely great. He played his ass off. He was the only Buccaneer who actually showed up to this game. The other receivers were dropping balls. I just don't know. Deshaun was the only one that played well, and the rest of the team did not. The second winner, I would say, is Jameis Winston. I know he threw 1 touchdown and 2 picks, but he completed 16 out of 20 passes. He didn't look the best, but considering he hasn't played a meaningful snap since the 3rd week of preseason, so it's been about a month, maybe a little bit over a month, he looked pretty decent. I think it was good for him to get in there, get his confidence back, get back in rhythm against actual NFL players. I think it was good that he was able to get in there. I know he only threw like 140 yards, which was like below 10 yards a pass. That's fine. I think it's good that he got in against a defense like that. They were playing prevent the entire second half, so he's able to try some things out. However, I don't like how the play calling became really conservative in the second half when Jameis was in there. I don't know if they were just like, you know what, the game is over, let's get his confidence back, or what the issue is, or maybe they don't trust Jameis. I don't know. But I think it's good that Jameis is back in and he got some live reps in the game. And now the third winner on the Buccaneers today is a very big stretch, but I am going to give it to Dirk Cutter with an asterisk because I have him as one of the losers as well. I'm listing Dirk Cutter as one of the winners because he pulled Fitz and put Jameis Winston in. I think the Fitz magic train was dying. Last week, he made a little comeback. We were desperate. We had to open the playbook up. But today, he didn't show us any signs that he was really ready. I think he was under 50% completion, if I'm being correct, maybe under 60. But he didn't look that good at all. He didn't look ready. So I'm glad they pulled it and put Jameis in. There was no point in stretching out Fitzpatrick through this game. Once the game was lost, we might as well put Jameis in to get some live reps. So I tip my hat off to Dirk for doing that. And the second reason I have Dirk as one of the winners is he decided to finally activate and put in Ronald Jones. Our run game has been abysmal. And the fact that we were able to finally give Ronald Jones the ball, he didn't look that bad. I think he got 10 rushes for almost 30 yards. Maybe it was 30 yards. 3 yards per carry, not really that good. But he's shown that he was 1 millisecond away from breaking a few runs. He looks really fast. I mean, he kind of looks flimsy too when I'm watching him. Like he's running and getting hit. Maybe it's because he's long. He's like really skinny and tall. I don't know. But he looks kind of awkward running. But he looks like he has speed. And I think once he gets this experience in, I think this is really a good confidence boost for him. And once he gets a little more experience under his belt, he might be a good asset. Peyton Barber is doing okay. He can run hard. He can take hits and run through some hits. But I think we need someone with breakaway speed that the defenses have to respect. And I think Ronald Jones will be that for us. Again, I think him and Jameis being in today was more for the long term, not necessarily to salvage this game. I think this game was unwinnable at halftime, but get him that experience. So we go into the bye week. They have some confidence. They're able to practice and get some reps with the starters. And then we go into an Atlanta game, I think at Atlanta, and we play a really rough one because they look on fire right now. Yeah, they're offensively on fire, so we're going to need our firepower. So now getting into the losers of the game, I'm just letting you know they are all defense related. Number one is Mike Smith. He needs to be fired, absolutely. Right now, on the way back, tomorrow in meetings, there's no reason he should be there at all. He gave up over 380 yards to Trubisky, 6 touchdowns. They rushed for, I think, 130 yards total. I think Mitch had like 60 yards rushing. It seemed that Mike Smith has no answer. And Mitch has not looked good in his entire career. Like, I was confident that our defense will actually be able to salvage themselves. But as the saying goes, the Bucs defense cures any offensive ailments. Every time an offense faces us, their quarterbacks look like Hall of Famers. It's absolutely unacceptable. The man's been there for 3 seasons, and outside of that 5 or 6 game stretch in 2016, the defense has completely fell apart. Players don't know where they're supposed to be. So many breakdowns. Receivers were running absolutely wide open. Like, there was nobody within 10 yards of them. I have no idea what's going on. I don't want to blame the players because a lot of them are rookies and it's not really their fault. They just got thrown into the wolves. But Mike Smith has to craft a defense that is good for our talent, and he's not doing that. I don't know what the hell he's doing. The pass rush wasn't really that good. We got, I think, 1 or 2 sacks, but overall the pass rush didn't do well at all. Mitch Trubisky had a lot of time in the pocket. He didn't really need all that time because players were running wide open. Every time the ball was thrown deep, I was like, where's the defender? And the defender's playing catch up. I don't know, it's completely unacceptable, which leads into my second loser of the game, which is Dirk Cutter for not firing Mike Smith. I know there were rumors that they had kind of a handshake deal that whoever got a head coaching job first would hire the other as an offensive or defensive coordinator. And it seems Dirk Cutter is really caping for Mike Smith and protecting him, but he absolutely can. If Dirk Cutter wants to keep his job long term, he has to get rid of Mike Smith because our defense is horrendous. Our defense is trash. Our defense is getting worse. Okay, the first game we played against Drew Brees, fine, acceptable. Nick Foles, okay, he won a Super Bowl, was Super Bowl MVP. Ben Roethlisberger, okay, that's Big Ben. They have Antonio Brown, they got some weapons. But Mitch Trubisky with no weapons, are you serious? It looked like the Bears were playing Madden. They were just airing that ball out. Everything they wanted to do, they could do. We had no answer at all. Mike Smith has got to go. Dirk Cutter has to put his foot down. Dirk Cutter has to fire him, make some sort of changes, demote him, bring someone else up as a defensive coordinator. But you cannot have your career riding on Mike Smith. You already have a great offense, and the offense is only going to stay pretty good throughout the season. So you're not going to get fired over your offense. It's going to be over the defense. So you have to make a change, or else you're going to be looking for a new job next year. So now this leads into my third loser of the game. Jason Light has to put his foot down and make Dirk Cutter fire Mike Smith. Jason Light's job is tied to the success of this team. I know he's been drafting pretty well. The roster is probably one of the best rosters we've had in the last 6-7 years, maybe the last decade, to be honest, and we can't capitalize on it. He's got to pressure Dirk Cutter to do something about Mike Smith. Again, his job relies on Dirk Cutter, whose job relies on Mike Smith. It's literally a chain, and if Dirk Cutter does not fire Mike Smith, him and Jason Light may be out of a job. Jason Light has to put his foot down. He's the one that hired Dirk Cutter. He's the one that I'm assuming approved the decision to have Mike Smith as defensive coordinator. But Jason Light has to put his foot down and make sure that there's some changes, because 2-0 has become 2-2 very, very fast. We're going into a bye week so players can heal, healed, we can get some players back from injury, and we can have 2 weeks to game plan against the Falcons. But the Falcons are no pushover. They are scoring like 1,000,000 points a game. Calvin Ridley looks like a beast. He's scoring like 100 touchdowns a game. We need to have some changes. This is the best time to fire Mike Smith because you have a bye week to make some changes and players can practice it and we can implement it. I won't say any defensive changes will make a super big difference against Atlanta because players have to adjust, but I think long term it'll look good. I don't know if you remember when we had Raheem Morris, I think in 2010, we had a really bad defense with Jim Bates, and I think Raheem Morris fired him. Maybe it was in the offseason, like right before the season started or mid-season, but the defense responded, and I think we finished top 15 in pass defense that year. So obviously it'll work. If Mike Smith gets fired, the players will be on alert and they'll be like, damn, we really got to step up or they're going to get rid of some of us players next year. But overall, that is my analysis of this game. I'm not going to do a prediction for the next game because it's in 2 weeks. Next week when I upload my bye week video analysis of the Bucs thus far, I will do a short prediction for the game against Atlanta. This game was horrible. Like, I don't know, I'm in a bad mood because of this game. I wasn't in a bad mood last week, but I'm in a bad mood now. So again, it's the same old Bucs, the yucks. Tampa Bay sucks. Hopefully we can turn it around. Hopefully Jameis will be back in his groove through the bye week, and I hope that we can finish this season with a winning record and hopefully sneak into the playoffs. Winning the division, I mean, 2-2, I still think we have a shot, but I don't want to bank on that. Let's try to at least aim for the wild card. So before I go, once again, if you are new here, make sure you click the subscribe button down below, drop a like, and Bucs Nation, let's get in these comments. Let's have a conversation about how bad these Bucs are looking and what we would like to see changed. So yeah, Bucs Nation, I can't even like end this video hype because we trash, but it's Buc Nation every day, unfortunately. It's unfortunately a Buc life. This is just what we're used to, and when will the cycle ever end?
Our offense tough, our defense rough. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Ain't no other team stopping us. Go Bucs, go Bucs.